This is why every time you go to prune fruit trees, you either do it wrong or get confused. Let's go. All right, so we're out here today pruning some apple trees. It is a balmy 14 degrees and a nice little snowstorm we're getting, but normally we would not prune in weather like this. It's just, this is the time we had to film. And so I wanted to film this video because I think it really will change the game as to how you prune your apple trees. Now, another reason why I wanted to come out here is because as we get closer to spring, people start talking about pruning apple trees. And right now, it's a very trending topic. And what I see is I see so many mistakes and I see so much confusion. And the reason why there's mistakes and confusion is because whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or Reddit, I see all these different tutorials on pruning and people will watch them. And then because there's so much nuance, because there's so many details that you have to pay attention to, they'll watch one video or they'll read one blog post and then they'll hop around to different topics and they don't realize that in doing that, what they are doing is they're essentially getting information from a variety of different sources that all have different pruning methods. And so before you realize that, you might just say, okay, you might say how to prune an apple tree. And in that guide, it says, all right, we're going to cut this, we're going to cut that, we're going to cut that. So you look for that when you prune. But mistakenly, you've watched another video that says, all right, you're going to prune that, you're going to leave that, you don't want that. So you leave those things. And what you're doing is you're actually making a hodgepodge tree that then you look at it and you say, that looks nothing like what I was going for. And then you ask all your friends online and they say, oh my gosh, you botched it. And I said, where did you go wrong? And they don't even know where they went wrong. And how I know this is when I first started learning how to prune trees, the mistake happened to me. I looked at all these different tutorials, I pruned all my trees and I said, oh my gosh, where did I go wrong? And so in this episode, we're gonna break down everything you need to know about every pruning style simply and it's in entirety so that you can choose one of the two methods of pruning and you can understand what to look for, what to prune, and what to leave. Because every video that you watch out there is going to tell you something different because they all are geared towards their pruning style. They're not trying to teach you a specific pruning style. They're just pruning their trees, showing you what they're doing. And from source to source, it can really throw you off and it can really cause confusion and anxiety. So let's get into it. Got a lot to do here and I'm really excited about it. So the first thing that is failed to be mentioned in a lot of pruning videos is that there are two main pruning styles. The two main pruning styles is what's called a modified central leader or an open center. Now, why that's very important is because you might watch a video from someone that is applying an open center concept to their tree, and then you try to apply some of the methods that you've learned from someone talking about a modified central leader, and it ultimately gives you they are polar opposites. They are polar opposites. There's some similarities, but in terms of the overall style and what you keep and what you leave, they are polar opposites. So we're first going to start off, everything we're going to talk about is the first pruning method, which is a modified central leader. That is the method that we are going to use on the farm predominantly, simply because we have a lot of trees. Now, what is a modified central leader? A modified central leader is starting down at the base, moving up. You see you can follow the main growth, right? You can follow this main growth all the way up. That is a leader. That's a leader, the central leader is the main growth growing up. Now, from there, you want to keep only one main leader. So the first thing you look for when you're pruning, as a snowflake just flew right in my eye. That was wonderful. The first thing you look for, I did ask for this. It's like the worst weather to be pruning in, but whatever. I hope you guys are going to like this video and enjoy because I really do want you to get a lot out of it. So the first thing you want to look for is you want to look for potential secondary leaders. Now, what is a potential secondary leader? So we have our main growth coming up. From there, we have what's called a lateral branch. This lateral branch here is growing out. It's growing laterally. if a lateral branch has too sharp of an angle, so we want an angle that is like this, maybe this, but you don't want really acute. You don't want a really sharp angle. Why is that? Well, one, can't host a lot of fruit. It's very fragile. It's more likely to break. But also, it's going to very much become a potential secondary leader. And so what we have to do is we have to decide, because we have this happening here. We have the main growth. We have a wonderful lateral. We have a wonderful lateral. We have a wonderful lateral coming up. More laterals. They're nice, all good angles. We'll talk about which ones we're going to keep in a second. But then we get to this one right here. And this one is the main growth coming up. And then all of a sudden, boop, we get this over here. Now, we have to pick one. We cannot leave both because they're both growing up to the sky. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the lower one. Now, why the lower one? Well, it's because the original main central leader had been pruned, and it kind of died back and formed another growth, and it kind of has grown a little cockeyed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to prune that. Now, that is going to allow for this main central leader right here to sturdy up. It still has a decent angle to it, but over time it's going to sturdy up because this is the only route for energy to grow. And basically it's going to grow straight up to the sky. And this is going to be our new main central leader. From there, now we need to talk about our laterals. We don't want laterals that are crossing. We don't want laterals that are stacked. What we want is this main growth growing all the way up to essentially be like the center of a tire. And then you have spokes on a wheel, right? Or it's like the center of a wheel. Imagine like a bicycle, right? Well, on a bicycle, you have the center of the bicycle wheel. And then from there, you have spokes going out in different directions. You rarely have a case in which there's two spokes right on top of each other like that. You like your spokes to kind of be splayed out. And so over here, we have a lateral branch. We have another lateral branch right on top of each other. That's just not going to work. We need to select one. So we have a lateral branch, and we have a lateral branch. Which are we going to keep? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this lower one. Why? Well, because it's lower to the ground. It's about hip height. And usually you prune anything below hip height. Now, if it was higher, the reason why I'd prune this one is because this one, as it grows, is more likely to get longer and touch the ground as it forms out. And so I'm going to cut this one here. And what I'm going to do when I do make my cut, I'm not going to cut really close. I'm going to leave, it's called a collar. And what I want to do is I want to leave that collar. It's kind of where the branch formed, about a ½ inch to an inch away from the base of the tree, the trunk of the tree, because that way it's going to heal up and scab, and it's not going to potentially risk infecting the rest of the tree, or it's not going to it's not going to risk letting like bugs and insects in to the tree. So I like to leave that little bit of a stump there. Now coming up the tree, the next thing we look for, right? So we look for those stacking, the overlapping. What we also want to look for is distance between branches. Typically, on a modified central leader, you want to have floors. So imagine floors in your house. You don't have your main floor, and then you have probably 8-foot ceilings, 9-foot ceilings in your house, right? Before you have your second floor. And what that is kind of a good demonstration of what you want to look for. You would not have your main floor, and then 2 feet up from that, you would not have your second floor, because how would that even be a floor? That'd be a crawl space, and you don't live in a crawl space. So you want to have good distance for your branches to live. One of my biggest mentors with apple orchards and maintaining apple trees, that came from him. And he said, you want your apple tree to have branches that are comfortable living, just like you'd be comfortable living in your house. And what is a good distance? Well, a good distance for them to live comfortably is about 10 to 11 inches between branches. Now, and that means that if your tree, so your level, right? So this is a level, this is a level, and this is a level. They're all kind of on the same plane. This one right here is kind of standing out on its own. It's got some problems because these are all fairly, within a couple inches. They're all within that range. So I'm going to cut this one because what that's going to do is going to open up this area here where even though this branch is decently close to this branch, we're only talking maybe 7 inches, it's going in completely opposite direction. So that's okay because we want this level, our main level, to be here. And then we want to build out our second story and then our third story. And if a tree is going to be about 10 to 12 feet tall, that's going to ensure that you've got nothing down here, start your main floor. And so you've already lost about 3 to 4 feet. You got about 8 feet of tree left. You're going to have about 6 to 7 layers on your tree. 6 to 7, and it's done. No more than that. It's easy to manage. It's better for airflow. It's better for fruit yield. Your fruit is going to form here. It's going to let sunlight in and ripen the fruit better. It's going to reduce pest pressure, disease. It's just overall better to have those layers. So again, think about it like floors in your house. You got your main floor, you got your second floor, and then we'll have our third floor. And so I'm going to come in here. I'm going to remove these little nubs, these little spurs here because I don't want any future branches. I want to just kind of keep this main floor, secondary floor, and that's going to kind of build out the structure of the tree. The next method that we're going to talk about is what's called open center. Now here on the farm, we don't have a lot of open center trees simply because, like I said, with our orchard, our layout, open center is great for home orchards. It's a decent amount of maintenance. It's a tad bit more maintenance than your modified central leader method. But the most important thing is that it takes up a lot more space. Now, the benefit to an open center is that it's very open. It allows light in to ripen the fruit. It really lets airflow in to reduce disease. It is a lot lower to the ground, doesn't get quite as tall, so it's a little easier to harvest fruit in kind of, they call it a pedestrian orchard. So it is a pedestrian orchard basically means that you don't need ladders, you don't need equipment, you can kind of just manage the tree from the ground on a person just standing on their feet. So there are some benefits. But you typically see open center in home orchards, home gardens. And this is a very popular method. It's probably one of the more popular methods that are out there, and it has a lot of merit. We're just not doing it because if we allowed for an open center, we are essentially taking out that central leader. We don't want anything in the center. And that's where I started talking about in the beginning, how they are completely polar opposites in terms of their pruning methods. Because in a modified central leader, we keep this center leader and allow those branches to grow out from there. In an open center, we say, no, we don't want that. We want a low to the ground open goblet. And so at around anywhere from your knee to your hip is where you select your branches to start growing out. That's why we have this tree here, because it's a wonderful example of this. We have this low branch here coming out. We have this low branch here coming out. We have a low branch here coming out. We have this one down here that's pretty good. Not great, but it's okay. And then we have this central leader up here. The central leader is going to keep growing. Well, what are we going to do? We're going to take it and we're going to cut it. We're going to cut it completely, just like that. Now, what that has done is it has opened up the center of the tree. That central leader. This one right here, this branch right here, is a little too straight up. So that's going to have to go as well. So I'm going to take that. And there is a true central leader. There is nothing growing up. Everything you keep, it grows out. It grows out. And then from there, from that point, you have you're going to have these create lateral branches. And so on this tree, once you've pruned out the center is nice and open. You have your lateral branches growing out like a goblet. That is when you have to reduce height. And everything you see online, people are going to say you need to reduce the length of the branches. Well, why is that? It's because if these continue getting taller and taller and taller and taller, they're going to get very heavy and they're going to splay open. So what we need to do is we need to prune just the tips like that. And the reason why we prune the tips is it encourages branching. So now that we've cleared out the center, we're going to encourage branching. And then from there, you're going to have branches that form. And you want to remove branches that are crossing. You want to remove branches that are overlapping. You want to remove stacked branches, just like with the modified central leader. You want to remove anything that's going to block sunlight, create friction and rubbing and abrasion. And you want that open goblet pattern. It's really super simple, but again, if you watch and these trees are fairly young, go to a fully mature tree and start pruning it, you're gonna see that the differences between the two videos. If someone says, okay, we're gonna prune up high here, we're gonna create some scaffolded branches, they're talking about a modified central leader. If someone says, all right, so we're gonna keep the center very open, we want to kind of cut anything that's growing into the center of the tree. We want to clean all that out. Anything that's growing up, upright, we want to clean that out. They're talking about a open center pruning method. You have to first understand the differences, understand the terminologies, and then through this, you basically just keep prioritizing one or the other. You prioritize your layers and upward growth, or thin center, no center, right? And upward and outward. Very vastly different in their pruning style. This tree will always be our only open centered tree here on the orchard because of what I just did today. So it'd be a good example tree. I'll use it as an example tree. That's what we'll do. But so those are the two methods of pruning. The differences between them. There's one other thing that a lot of people wonder about pruning, and that is, okay, I've pruned out things that I've been told to prune out. You also want to prune out dead, dying, diseased. So your dead branches, your dying branches, if they're weak and feeble and they seem like they are adding stress to the tree, or diseased branches, if you have things like fire blight, if you have apple scab or any type of scarring on the tree, you got to cut that out as well. And then the final thing that I think is worth noting, but goes without saying, make sure that the pruning videos you're watching are applicable to the fruit you're growing. Now, this is obviously fairly obvious, but you want to make sure that if you're pruning an apple, you're not watching a pruning guide for peaches. Now, I am not saying that I have not made that mistake, because when I first started growing fruit trees, I kind of thought you treated them all the same. I thought you treated every single one the same, and that's just not the case. With peaches are vastly different than apples, vastly different than pears. And so you want to make sure you're watching a pruning guide that is specific to the fruit that you're growing. And with that, I hope you guys have better luck pruning your fruit trees. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. And I really do hope that you'll throw a like up there for this video, for me freezing my butt off and helping make gardening hopefully more understandable. So as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow bigger. Take care. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, consider clicking this one. You'll probably enjoy it just as much. I want to thank you for your viewership, because without it, this channel would not be as amazing as it is. Also, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free, and we upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. We also have vegetable seeds, fertilizer, or tools. If you need any of those, consider visiting MIgardener.com. Links will be in the description box below. We've got you covered. And as always, we'll see you all in the garden. Take care. Bye.